Now let's get this thing done here. Whatever I say in that intro. We are the Roto Hackers. I've called us all kinds of things in these last couple of weeks. I am here with It's Jared, and my name is Judah Buddha. We are the Roto Hackers, your unauthorized source of fantasy football news and entertainment, I believe.
We don't do this enough for you to remember the intro.
5 years, 4 years, whatever it's been, I don't have it down. But how are you doing today, by the way, Jared? It's good to have you.
Thanks. Yeah, good to see you. Good to be on. I'm good. Yeah, just like I was telling you, I'm leaving for the UK for nearly 2 weeks tomorrow. So
Wow.
It's been a crazy few days just trying to wrap up stuff work-wise and everything else. So yeah.
That is going to be that's going to be an awesome little vacation. I
hopefully
congratulate you on being able to go, man. That's going to be great.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Leaving on the day that the government has shut down. So we'll see.
Scary.
We'll see. Hopefully, all things related to airports are still functioning at pretty much normal level. We'll see.
Okay. Well, great. Well, let's just jump right into it. Let's get right into it. We have a couple injuries. Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors, these are season ending. We know they're out. Nick Bosa, he's out rest of the year. Nami Madubuduki and Joe Burrow, of course. These are anything you want to say about those?
Well, I mean, the Neighbors one, I think, is just, the most significant one because he was a, kind of a fringe late first round, early second round guy. That's really tough. It's also tough for Jackson Dart if, for anybody who, maybe at least in deeper quarterback leagues was trying to go with him. And he looked like he was going to, have and may still have some good dual threat capability. Yeah. But, you lose a guy like Neighbors and the rest of that Giants receiving core is
such a big disappointment. Yeah.
Not great. So you got to knock him down.
Now, one of the things that I noticed? Oh wait, I keep hitting the wrong ones. Tyreek Hill isn't necessarily out for the whole season, right? I saw.
No, he's definitely out for the whole season. He dislocated his knee. He tore his ACL. He tore other ligaments. He
gone.
Yeah.
What does that mean for Waddle?
Yeah, I think I think potentially Waddle improves his fantasy stock, but I don't know. I've also got to see that too. Yeah. I don't know. Waddle's just one of those guys that it seems like he should be doing better than what he is, but I don't know. That Dolphins offense, it just feels like it's hard to trust it. So I think Waddle will, see increased targets and, that sort of thing. But, I can't remember what point Hill left in that game. I want to say maybe it was the third quarter, something like that. And, Waddle still ended up with 6 targets. Darren Waller caught both of Tua's touchdowns. So it just feels really hard to trust the Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. Well, I agree with all of that. The other thing I would also mention is, what's the tight end? The guy that came in, they had those 2 touchdowns.
Waller.
Oh yeah, you already mentioned him. Yeah. Waller.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. I was trying to. All right. So Waller, he might be a factor. Let's move on to. I've lost my little thing here. We've got. So that's those, but here are some other notable injuries. Aaron Jones, we've known has been out. He should be back within another, I think, probably 2 weeks. Cedric Tillman went out, though. I want to talk a little bit more about that later. He's been somebody we've been talking about on the waiver wire to pick up. Roquan Smith is out. Should be out. He's got a grade 2 strain, maybe out 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Marlon Humphrey, don't really care about defensive players, honestly. And, of course, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, we've already talked about them. And then Lamar Jackson might or might not be struggling with a hamstring, a hammy. Let me put us on the edge here. Brock Purdy, he is in and out now. It seems like he's still struggling with that little toe, and we know how that can be a problem for guys, but not as much for quarterbacks. CeeDee Lamb, it's a high ankle, so he's probably out for, they said 3 to 6 weeks. So we still got 2 more weeks at the very least. Ricky Pearsall, I think he banged his knee really bad, and I think it was like a strain on his, I can't remember, it's like his patella or something. I can't. MCL, actually. I think he strained his MCL. Not broke or anything, but I think he strained it or something like that. JJ McCarthy still out. Probably out another 2 weeks. Bucky Irving popped up, and this is worrisome for me. I've got a lot of Bucky. He needs an MRI, and I remember, and his coach said he's concerned about it. Those are the only 2 data points we have. That's it. So a lot of people are so we'll talk about that for the waiver wire. Jaden Daniels probably going to come back this week, wouldn't you say? Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like that's looking more likely. Yep.
Okay. And Terry McLaurin, quad injury. I think he's out a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon, he's scheduled to come back this week, but everybody's like giving the nah wave, and he's probably out for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. And then Tajay Spears. Do you have any interest in little Tajay Spears? He could come back for week 5.
I mean, that Titans offense is rough. Like I have Tony Pollard. I drafted Tony Pollard as a later round, guy to be like a number 4, number 5 running back. And he's just, he's really almost kind of like a bye week fill-in at this point or something, where he's, scoring, he's struggling to get double digits. Maybe you get like 9.5 points from him or something. So you bring back Spears and you start splitting up those carries more, and that's just a rough situation, I think, for both of them.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm a little distracted because we already have comments coming in. Let's just take let's pause right here to just take let me get this stupid thing out of our face and take some comments. Where'd my comments go? Okay, so Apple Season says my team is Purdy, Achane, Hampton, Colin. I mean, this is a good team. D. Smith, Jacoby Myers, Ertz, bench. He's got Kittle, Burden, Charbonnet, Chubb, Mooney, Geno Smith, Caleb Williams. Okay, gotcha. And the question is, who wins this trade? Purdy and Achane or Benson and Allen? I'm supposing Josh Allen. I'd be getting Allen's side. Because one of the injuries we didn't talk about was the running back Allen is injured as well. I don't know if he had like a concussion or something. I can't remember. But anyways, I would. I think I would just go Benson Allen just for the Allen side personally. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a little bit tough. I think. So far, I think Josh Allen, is going to be the most, consistent part of that. A-Chain's good. He's about the only real part of that Dolphins offense that I would trust, but I don't know how much Tyreek Hill hurts that. If he really hurts that, they've got some tough games coming up. After Carolina, they've got the Clippers, the Browns, and the Falcons. I'm sorry, the Chargers. I saw LAC on the schedule.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself by a few weeks. Basketball season's about to start. So they got the Chargers, the Browns, and the Falcons, and those, in terms of are basically like the second, third, and fourth toughest run defenses to go against so far in what we've the limited sample we've had. So yeah, I would give an edge to Allen, especially if Benson. We haven't seen. Connor's been gone for not even, I guess, 2 full games now. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Benson can step it up a little bit. But I'd say it's a pretty fair trade. But if Benson can step it up a little bit, plus the scoring you get from Allen, I would like that side of things.
He dropped a like. I appreciate it. Apple season. I agree with everything he said, and I also want to remember that like everybody who usually gets hurt this season is getting hurt. So Achane has been known to have a few hurties. So yeah, just beware.
No.
Right. Well, with that's the only. I thought there was more, but he was just one guy doing 3. The next thing we want to go over, for injuries, I do want to effort that thing about who is it? Allen? What's his name? Breezen Allen or something like Brave Sean Allen or
Braylon. Is it Braylon?
Braylon
for the Jets. Yeah.
Because I saw something about him being out.
Yeah, it looks like he's
MCL sprain.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be on injured reserve.
Yikes!
So
that's 4 weeks at least, right?
That's 4 weeks, and then they have a bye. So he's probably looking at coming back. Maybe week 10 against Cleveland or something. Braylon Allen wasn't doing much of anything. His point totals have been 6.9, 1.1, 5.7, 0.6. I think, if anything, it benefits Breece Hall. Because, clearly, Allen wasn't really taking that much away. But, I think it's a little bit of a boost for Breece Hall. I think their other running backs, Isaiah Davis. So, maybe he, just steps into Allen's role, and maybe it's just kind of a wash for Breece Hall. But, it feels like it certainly couldn't hurt anything.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking primarily. I was hoping for a Breece Hall, not hoping for an injury, but hoping that I have Braylon Allen stashed everywhere. He's one of the guys I stashed, just sort of like knowing that he's a good player and there is a good deal of touches that go through the running back there. So, but you're right. Now it's the Breece show, Breece Hall show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just go with a quickness right into where is it? And we, what do you think of these little hitters?
I like it. Well, I was especially just thinking like, with the intro, with the AI intro of us, like, how far away are we from just, being able to have AI just do this show on a weekly basis. And then we pop in, once in a while. But, it's just almost an entirely AI generated show. And we just go with that.
The technology is there. So I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. Okay, so top priority pickups. We have Woody Marks. These are the people that probably are going to be the top that everybody's going to be talking about today, and so on and so forth. Woody, like these are the popular ones. Woody Marks for Houston, the running back for Houston. Jackson Dart, QB for the Giants. Darren Waller, the tight end for Miami. We've already kind of touched on that. Darius Slayton, the wide receiver. It's funny they put Darius Slayton. I would say probably Wandell would be higher than Darius Slayton, but he probably is more. He's already on people's rosters. So no, but Darius Slayton isn't on anybody's roster.
No, and it remains to be seen whether or not he should be. Even with even Wandale is. He's only 49% rostered. That might be a little higher in paid leagues or deeper leagues. But I mean, the last 2 weeks, he's, had 4 catches for 40 yards total. He had that blow up in week 2 against Dallas. 8 catches, 142 yards and a touchdown. Dallas is also the worst pass defense. So, but I mean, someone theoretically has to catch the ball in New York. So, yeah. And with what's his name who got injured?
Neighbors. With Neighbors being injured, I just think they're going to have to the whole game plan is going to change. But I think what I'm hearing between the lines here is you don't want to touch any of them. This is just going to be a dumpster fire of an offense.
Scadabo's, Scadabo's doing pretty well. I think they're going to have to run the ball a good bit. And, with Dart being a running threat, then that sort of defenses can't quite key on the running back as much. I think they are in New Orleans this week or playing New Orleans this week. So that looks, like another good opportunity for Scadabo. But as the receivers go, I have gone down the Darius Slayton road multiple times before.
Yes.
And it rarely ever leads anywhere good. And Wandale, I don't know. I mean, it's such a tough thing with him. Kind of his style of play is, just absorb a ton of is typically just been like absorb a ton of those targets and short targets. And does Jackson Dart want to play that way, or are they going to have to play that way? And he just feels like one of those guys that he's not like just, regardless of who comes in at quarterback, he's going to be his game's going to work with them really well. It's just kind of hard for me to say.
Would you, the other thing we need to bring up is the fact that Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a lot. These are people on bye. That is a lot of important fantasy action this week. If you have a bunch of those guys on bye, would you be desperate? Could you see yourself being desperate enough to pick up Wandell?
There's a league where I will flex him. Yeah. Because, it's a pretty competitive league and, not a lot of other options. And so, yeah, I think, again, probably the number one receiver there going up against a bad defense. And, if you've got a lot of guys on bye, you may not have a better option there.
Well, the main guy that everybody's talking about is Woody Marks.
Right.
What are your thoughts on Woody Marks? I mean, it's another situation. Now, all these like juicy pickups are on teams that are kind of a dumpster fire, kind of terrible teams. Do you think though that even though it's a terrible team, that would be the Texans, Houston Texans, do you think that Woody Marks as the he's rising starting, he's not starting yet, but getting more and more touches, getting in for more snaps, Woody Marks is going to be a viable fantasy option?
Yeah, I mean, I think he will be. I mean, and right now Baltimore is looking like the worst run defense so far. So you're going up against them. I mean, the thing about him is, again, like you said, and I know you were high on him, from the start of the season, thinking that he might end up being the guy to take over there in Houston, before too long. I mean, Mixon is probably not coming back this year. Nick Chubb, just, I don't think he's right. He's washed. He does. And so, I mean, Marks, I can't remember what he was, if he was a 4th round pick, if I'd have to look it up. But he's, you look at what he did in that game against Tennessee. Again, granted, Tennessee's a bad defense, but he got 17 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown, and he had 5 targets and he caught 4 of them for 50 yards and a touchdown. So it's not like, oh, he was just used in the receiving game or he was used in the running game and he's going to be splitting. He was more featured there, 25.9 points. I mean, he was more featured there than, how many running backs have been, like Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey and, Saquon. How many other guys have gotten that kind of volume in a game? And they won that game 26-0. They got Baltimore coming up, that again is an even worse run defense. Why would you not just go back to the same thing all over again? Are you gonna, go back to Nick Chubb still got 13 carries and caught 2 balls, but you gotta think that Woody Marks is going to get as much of a share or more off that performance.
And one thing that I've noticed just in my years of doing fantasy is that I will write off a team at the beginning of the year and just say these guys are garbage, and say this team over here is the best, and it will flip by mid-season. Somehow, like the Houston could start to put things together, maybe with the help of Woody Marks. Change it, pretty much supporting what you're saying, and then what do you have? You have like a starting running back for maybe a playoff destined team, because I think they're 2-2 right now, or 1-2, 1-3.
I can't without looking it up here real quick. I think it's either it's one or the other, 2-2 or 1-3. Let's see. They are 2-2. They're 1-3. Yep, 1-3. So,
okay.
So
they really would have to. They would need a lot of. They would
need a lot.
Wins.
I mean, you can get back. Indianapolis and Jacksonville are both out to 3-1. Indianapolis looks legit. Jacksonville, a little more iffy about, but they look solid. And that AFC West is going to be, you're going to have, potentially 2 wild card teams coming out of that division. So, it's going to be tough if you've gotten off to a 1-3 start. You're really going to have to start playing well now.
Yeah. Well, okay. The next person I wanted to talk about was DeAndre Miller. What are your thoughts on DeAndre Miller? Because he is somebody that's coming up a lot for analysts to go out and pick up as we watch AK-47, my guy, take a step back. As far as Kamara not getting the kind of production that we're used to. A lot of people talking about the new coaching shift, what have you. But this last week and sort of starting the week before, we are seeing more and more snaps and touches, and just it looks like they're starting to hand the ball to DeAndre Miller. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if they're handing it to DeAndre Miller. I think they're handing it to Kendre Miller.
Oh, Kendre.
But your point's taken. Yeah. Well, so this was kind of my concern. This was my concern about Kamara coming into the season, and I think I drafted him in a league. Of course, I have like 10 leagues. Yeah, so I drafted him on a cheaper team. And I was looking back to see where I actually took him.
He's only rostered in like 20%, like maybe 20% of teams, leagues.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, it's kind of like the Titans offense, though. It's like, is anyone really going to do super well in the Saints offense? Olave, gets like 40 targets a game and then, just consistently ends up with like 8.5 points. I mean, it's insane. Olave has 43 targets in 4 games. So he's averaging nearly 11 targets per game. And his scoring line is 8.9, 8.4, 10.7, 8.5. Just he's catching balls, but he's getting like 50 yards a game. And he finally got a touchdown this week to save a game that was worse for him than the others. But man, it's just one of those where I just don't trust anybody, in that offense, really. Kind of like the type.
Now, wouldn't you agree though that they are better than we thought at the beginning of the year? Like I thought they were going to be, dog water, and seems like they're actually kind of holding their own. Not necessarily offensive wise, but defense. They seem to be. They're winning games, more games than I thought they would.
I think we're talking about 2 different Saints teams here because the Saints I'm talking about are 0-4, and they have given up the second most points in the NFC.
Really? They're 0-4? I thought they'd won at least one game.
They have not.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I take that
unless
back.
Yahoo's standings are lying to me.
No. I take it back. But I thought they were going to be a lot worse for fantasy. Like all their players have been actually, other than Olave. But I thought that Kamara was going to be a lot worse. He's actually been putting up, what was he? He was drafted in like.
So he was typically going.
Round.
Yeah, he was like going as like a 5th rounder. And I did not. I mostly avoided him. I mean, he's been slightly better than Pollard. He's basically been like Pollard plus, where he's gotten you into the double digits his first 2 games. Seattle in week 3, that's a tough defense. It was 6 points. Last week Buffalo, that's a tough place to play. He didn't quite hit double digits there. I mean, Kamara's been a guy that has been, an okay number 2 back if you drafted some studs at the other positions. But he's like, he's Pollard plus for me.
Okay. Yeah, and they're talking about there's rumors of him being traded. So,
yeah.
If he's traded, would Keandre? Let me get that right. Would Keandre Miller be somebody you'd pick up? Somebody excited to have. Would you be more excited about him than Kamara?
No, that one's a harder limb for me to go out on. Kamara's just offers that, the thing that he's always been great at is just being such a good dual threat as a receiver and a running back. And I don't think Miller had a catch. I'm not sure if he's had a catch. Has he had a catch this season? I'm not sure. I don't think he did in that game. I think it was all like 11 carries. Okay, so he's had 3 catches this season in 4 games. None in that last game.
I think they're all in week 2 or 3.
Yeah, they were weeks 3. Yeah, 2 and 3.
Well, who would you be more excited about stashing? Woody Marks, Ollie Gordon, or Keandre Miller?
Oh, it wouldn't even be a stash. Like if I could pick up Woody Marks, I'm probably throwing him in as RB1 on most of my teams. next week between
Okay,
what he.
between Ollie and Keandre, who do you think has more potential?
I think Miller just for volume right now. I mean, Gordon could end up. The Dolphins' offense should be better than the Saints, and so if something happened to A-Chain, then potentially Gordon steps into a better situation there. But I mean, for right now, just the fact that he's getting more volume, I would say Miller.
Okay, and then one guy I'm curious to get your take on is Bashal Tutin. Are you dropping him at this point, or is he still worth a stash?
I would want to keep him if I could. I mean, he's not. Week 2 against Cincinnati looked like week 3 he had a touchdown, but he's just not getting. I mean, he had 4 carries last week. And yeah, I mean, it's funny because everyone was just writing off ETN at the beginning of the season. And man, that guy's carrying a bigger workload than, I mean, he's averaging like 16 carries a game. He's had 100
and doing well with it.
Yeah, he's had 143 yard rushing game, 124. His worst was 56 and a touchdown. I mean, if that's your worst game, good grief. So, yeah, I wouldn't write him off just yet because
you're not dropping him.
If you could keep him, I would keep him. I mean, especially if you have ETN, I would want him as a handcuff.
Oh yeah.
If you can't, I don't know. I mean, ETN's had some injuries. He missed a couple of games last year, but yeah, I would want to try to hang on to him if I could. Another guy I'll throw in, and I've got to go here before too long, but is this guy was going back to an offense who I said, this offense is terrible, and you probably don't really want anyone who's part of it. But if you're desperate this week on bye, you can't maybe get Wan'Dale Robinson, or you're not really sure about him. If you want to take a chance on someone, the Titans receiver, he was kind of getting a little buzz for a little while, and then he just hasn't really stepped up as much as we hoped. Eric Iomanor, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Iomanor, yeah. So, rookie receiver, 4th round guy, out of Stanford. Games weeks 2 and 3, he basically averaged about 45 yards and a touchdown in each one of those games. His targets have been 7, 6, 5, 7. He's not really, the tough thing is, he's not putting up a ton of yards, not getting a ton of catches, but Cam Ward has looked to him a little bit, as a guy who can be the guy to get the score for him. So if you're desperate, at this point, we're kind of getting to that point in the waiver wire where, we've got a Woody Marks on the waiver wire this week, maybe a Darren Waller, maybe he, kind of has a breakthrough and returns to form. But as far as receivers go, there's hardly anyone exciting. And we've just kind of gotten to that point of the waiver wire where it's not, there aren't like 4 or 5 guys where you're like, oh, this is great. You got to like start scraping a little more towards the bottom of the barrel.
Well, can I bring up one guy, and then we got to go, but one guy that I'm actually really excited about, and that is Isaiah Bond. Not a lot of people are talking about him, but ever since Tillman went down, there is a little buzz about Isaiah Bond because similar to his teammate, who's that, Quinshon Judkins, he has had some off the field problems. I don't really know what they amount to, but it seems to be all cleared up now. He would have gone a lot higher in the draft. If it weren't for those, I think he ended up just being like a walk-on or something. But they're saying that he actually comes from pretty good pedigree and has it was highly sought after before he had these off the field problems.
Mhm.
And so I mean that's the kind of guy that I like to stash. And it might even, I mean, now that Tillman's down, it might not even be a stash. You got who knows what's going on with their tight ends, Njoku and what's the guy that we've been talking about picking him up
Harold
off the wire?
Yep.
Fannin, yeah, I'm picking up Fannin. Who knows what's going on with that? But I don't know. He could rise to be there. He's a rookie, might be there. Just as he gets acclimated to the playbook, might be somebody that takes over the offense.
Yeah, he's fast. He had a sub 4.40 at the combine. Yeah, he was projected to go a lot higher, but I think it was allegations that knocked him down farther. And yeah, Cleveland's pretty volatile. You've got it's a run-based offense. Joe Flacco, the ageless Joe Flacco's the quarterback. How much longer? You're going to
actually. I think I might have seen. Help me out here, but might have seen an announcement that they're going to the young guy. What's his name?
Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel. I think that came out this afternoon.
Okay, so I don't think it's
not official.
I guess maybe it's not official, but yeah, a bunch of reports say that Flacco is expected to be benched for Dylan Gabriel. So how does that change things? You still got Jerry Jeudy there, you got Njoku, you got Fannin. It's still a run-based offense. If Gabriel's bad, then I guess maybe they go to Shedeur Sanders, or do they go back to Flacco, or does Deshaun Watson come back? Cleveland is so volatile, but in deeper leagues, I think he ended up with 6 targets the other day. In deeper leagues, I think he's worth a shot.
And isn't it funny that wide receiver is where, I don't know about you, but I've got 10 leagues too, and wide receiver is where I'm hurting. I've got all these little Woody Marks and people that I've been stashing, all these rookie running backs I can kind of fit in, but wide receiver has been decimated for a lot of my leagues.
It has.
I had a lot of neighbors, so that's probably why.
Yeah, right. I mean, you just lost 2 major guys this week with Neighbors and Tyreek Hill. We've had guys that have just been putting up dud after dud. Brian Thomas, who I drafted too much Brian Thomas, and I knew better than to do that. I talked myself into it because he was going for a good price in salary cap leagues. But where he really had his success was with Mac Jones. He and Trevor Lawrence have just never had a connection. And so I thought okay, maybe it took a little while, but with their new coach, with Cohen, he'll get them on the same page. Nope, Brian Thomas. I mean, that whole Jacksonville passing offense has just not been good. Lad McConkey, I didn't draft. I think I drafted him in 1 league, but I mean, he's the number.
I have
3.
way too much Lad McConkey.
He's the number 3 behind Quentin Johnson, who actually I was a year early on. I drafted a bunch of Quentin Johnson last year, thinking he was going to break out. He didn't, but I still got a bunch of him this year because nobody mainly just picking him up off the waiver wire because nobody thought it was for real. AJ Brown. Oh my God. AJ Brown. What is happening there? He's been bad. Jamar Chase. And T. Higgins without Joe Burrow. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't have anyone to throw the ball to you. And so, all of a sudden, it went from, just wide receivers. There's a million of them out there. It's a passing league. Every team's got 2 serviceable wide receivers that you can use to just a wasteland.
Yeah. Well, that's wasteland. Now, just real quickly before I know that I said that was my last one, I do want to put out there for listeners a stash. Somebody who's rising through the ranks is Brashad Smith, the running back for the Chiefs. Chiefs running backs look abysmal, and this guy's actually doing something, and he's getting yards. He's getting some yards per carry, and it may be that he gives the spark to their backfield that they need as they are starting getting better, getting the cogs turning again for this what was once a high-powered offense.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy's back. They'll get Rashee Rice back after a couple more games. And it feels like it's just going to be another one of those things with the Chiefs where, when you're talking about teams not starting off well, they lost 2 games, nearly lost in New York, could have been 0-3. And it's like, but then you look and say like, well, okay, who does Mahomes have to throw to? Taylor Swift's boyfriend and, some other guys, who knows? And but once you get Worthy back, once you get Rice back, it's just going to look like a different, and it just feels like one of those things where the Chiefs will come on at the end and they'll probably be right back in the Super Bowl again. And I don't know what they're going to do with the running game. It's kind of a mess. Kareem Hunt was getting a bunch more carries. Pacheco kind of took a back seat. And then there's Smith. I don't know. But you were right on the Woody Marks thing. So maybe you'll hit again on Smith.
Brashad Smith. I'm picking him up tonight. We'll see what he does. Well, Jared, thank you for joining me. It's a lot funner when you're here. I'm not just sort of like scrambling. I'm still scrambling, but at least I have somebody to sort of laugh at me while I do it and give excellent analysis. That's right. But we hope you have a wonderful trip to London. Thanks. Stay connected. Hopefully you can still give us some advice from afar on the chat, what have you.
Yeah, maybe we'll still have an opportunity. The time zone difference over there is a little bit wonky. But yeah, maybe there'll be an opportunity. I know next Tuesday.
Are you going to go see any games?
So I'm actually, the Broncos actually, part of what kind of just made me decide to do this trip when I did was the Broncos this coming week, they play in Philly. And then on Sunday, the 12th, they play the Jets in London at Hotspur, and I'll be there for it.
Awesome. That'll be great. So, we'll look for you in the crowd.
So that's going to be, that'll be fun. It'll come on at 9 a.m. Eastern here, but 9:30 Eastern, something like that. But maybe I can still jump on sometime. I know next Tuesday I will be in Scotland. So I probably will not be jumping on then, but maybe at some point we can all connect for another show before I'm back in the US.
That'd be great. Well, thanks for joining me this time, and thanks everybody who Apple season. Appreciate the like. Feel free to leave a like and a comment. If you leave a comment, I'm sure me or Jared or AJ will come back and respond to it. And have a wonderful night. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.